awkward. Oh, I don't like that at all.
It's better. Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in. My name's Shane, this is my wife Katie.
Hello.
And we are going to take you a quick tour of the Scorpion 6 Lab, part 2. So we'll start in the grind center. We have a lot of grinders that we didn't even have the ability to set up at the other shop. So they were under the table, covered in blankets. We didn't have the power or the space. Now we can actually have them set up. So the first two on this metal table are Travis Wertz TW90s. TW90 because they can flip 90 degrees. Depending on what you're working on, it makes it really easy to adjust these between little wheels, flat plottings, depending on whatever grind you want to do. They all adjust on the fly really easily. Moving over here, we have an AMK horizontal grinder. This is actually Katie's grinder. She named this Hank. So Hank here, you have these adjustable platens. You can adjust the angles on them. You can even change this wheel diameter on the fly. And you can just run from one station to another without needing to turn the machine off like the other grinders. So really versatile, especially in our softening. The next grinder we have, this is an AMK. It's an AMK disc grinder. We still haven't really found the best way to incorporate this one yet. I know we did it to do lockups for a while, and it's super quiet, so I like it, but we'll find a way to really get it tuned in to the rest of these. Over here is our AMK vertical grinder. I want to say it's a 77. I don't know all the nomenclature, as well as Allen. The thing I really like about the AMK vertical is just like with the TW90, how you can change it up. All you have to do is take off the belt, swing that around, and now you have a flat. If you want to go back to hollow, just that fast. So you could have a flat and a hollow really quick. It just makes it easier. And then last but not least, in the grinding center, we have the AMK sharpener. And this is where all the sharpening happens on all of our blades. Is this little machine right here. So that is the grinding center. This is our machining department, I guess you'd call it. We have a couple different fixtures that go on here. Everything's really easy to change. It's really fast to change between different procedures. The faster we can change, the faster we can adapt, the faster we can make parts. In the parts cart, we have parts that are going through at each segment, depending on which operation they need. And then all the way to this part. So this is where all the machining happens. We don't outsource anything, we don't have a CNC, it's all by hand, right here on these mills, the machining department. This is probably the smallest section of what we have going on here. This is our new blast cabinet. And over from the blast cabinet we get into, this is kind of a mix of stations here. Our drill presses for basic things like, if you look at this part here, you can see these little kind of clean chamfers around the holes before we do machining on them. That's done here on these as well. And we do our fixed blades. So our fixed blade press, this is where we push the rivets in and then wrap the handles here, which is quick to pull off. And then our buffing machine, which we use to soften corners and polish the sheets as well. This is where the assembly happens. This is my assembly desk where I spend the majority of the time when I'm not grinding. We have these tools from Kerr Tools, Kerr Knives. He custom turns these and they've become a staple over at our shop for what we use. And this is where all the assembly happens. Everything gets built right here. This is the engraver. It's just a real simple, I think it's actually for manicures, but we sign the inside of every folding knife that we've ever made is signed with a number and a signature. That's all by hand too, no laser. Then the last machine in the shop is this little guy here. And this is just our lathe that we turn and size hardware on. This is where we make stickers. This is our sticker maker. And then, because of the picture we did the other day, We actually have every model we've ever made out here on this table. So we keep all of our prototypes. We keep our number ones. So I'm just gonna go down the line and list off the names. You may have heard of some of them, you may have not heard of some of them. We do limited runs, and like I know this one we've only made 10. We only released 10 of them. So starting at the beginning, the first knife we ever made was the MechTig. Next to that is an overfall. That's Katie's, so it is a left-handed one. That's why it looks a little bit different than the rest. You have the Varangian. Next to that is the MechTig V2, the second version of the MechTig, where we did a Tonto instead of a Warncliffe style. The knife next to that is the Gill. You might remember that one. We only did 25 of those, so there weren't a lot of those out in rotation. The next is the Veps, which means wasp in Norwegian, because it has a little stinger tail look to it. Next to that was one of our biggest knives that we ever made. That's kind of the Unicorn. That's a combat folder. We only make 1 to 2 of those a year, but they're built for heavy use. This particular one's on washers. We have a couple out there on bearings too. Next to that, also left-handed, is Katie's design. That was her first design here in Scorpion 6. That is the Blomst, which means flower. Next to that is the Varangian Magnus. So it's just a beefed up, supercharged version of the Varangian itself. It has the frame braces, glass breaker, and a more aggressive grind. And then we decided to get a little bit smaller because people were getting weird about their sizes. Went into the Stateside, which is a small version of the combat folder. A little easier to carry in the pocket, not quite as bulky. And next to that is the MechTig Schmedium, which is based off of the MechTig V1 platform, just a whole heck of a lot smaller. Then we did the Arvin. That was just a fluke that came and wanted to be big and scary. So there's the Arvin itself. Next to that's probably one of the more rare models that we ever made because we only released 10 book spots for it. That is the C6. Next to that is the Overval V2. Most of you all have probably never seen that, and I think we're probably only going to make 2 of those ever. That one is the MechTig Velocity, a much slimmer, thinner version than the majority of our knives. This one's thinner than the Spyderco overall. Next to that is the Baby Blomst. It's the smaller right-handed version of the Blomst. That one has the fat carbon handle side on it. It'll be standard with titanium. Next to that one is the Forcevar. That is part of the 500 series, the $500 price point line. Only a few of those are actually out in the wild, and we were slating to have some of those coming out around Blade Show, but things are changing with that. Then we decided to make the Arvin into a flipper and be a little more convenient for certain law enforcement carries where they have blade restrictions. So that is the Arvin F for Arvin Flipper. Next to that is the Bensog. Now this is an actual Bensog. We did the Bensog 500 with the G10 handles. That's in our 500 series. This one is not in the 500 series. This is a custom Bensog. Next to that is the Seeker. The Seeker is one of our newer models. There's only 2 of those out in the wild right now. That run will be coming, 2020 is anticipated date for that release. This one, a lot of you don't even know exists. This is the Mini V, the Mini Varangian. It's a small version cleaver. Next to that is the SP1, or Super Pokey. That was a drawing that I doodled on the flight back from NICS, the New York Custom Knife Show, and it just ended up becoming a thing. So yeah, there's the last 4 years worth of models, all handmade, no CNC, right here in America.
And over here we have my desk. When I'm not working in the office on the computer, getting things ready to ship, I am out here organizing all of the orders and all the parts. So here we have the parts desk. When they come in from WaterJet, I assign them to their appropriate customer, and I size everything over here. When it is your knife's turn to come up on deck, I will lay them out all here. Each knife is assigned a number. So Shane just gets the knives that I give him. Each knife is completed in the order in which it is received. So those all come out here, and by now they've all been assigned with their numbers and their finish options. So then from here, they go into their grind queues.
Thank you for being part of the Swiftman 6 family.
Yeah, and taking time out of your day to watch our little lab tour. Oh, yay! Oh, we see her! She looks terrified.
She does. He looks.
Put her down. She doesn't like it.
So thank you, everybody.
That makes me look pregnant.
Oh yeah. We have another surprise.
No,
Oh
oh my God!
Quarantine baby.
So thank you all for joining us on the tour of our new lab. We know that it wouldn't be possible without your support. You know, we love our Scorpion 6 family. So thank you for joining in. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And you all stay safe and healthy out there.